Hello Army, welcome back to Bangtan News today. Have you ever felt that something was happening, but never really spoken, like a story that is not announced, but can be felt that it was like a plan that wasn't explained, but the vibe was real? Lately, many soldiers feel that way, not because of a viral video, not because of one official statement, because of the atmosphere that there's a change, slow down, calm down. And very noticeably, Jungkook and Jimin's names are often discussed again, not because of drama, not because of cheap rumors, but because of something more quiet, deeper, and it feels more adult. There was no press conference that no big announcements, there is no official sentence that explains anything, there is only silence, pause, gazed at a slower tone of voice, that a more careful choice of words, and that's exactly where a lot of the army started to feel, something is being prepared that at first. Some people thought it was just nostalgia. Or just a post-military moment, but slowly, that feeling began to change, especially after Jungkook said a few lines that sounded very personal, sentences that do not mention names, but the intonation is different, the expression is deeper, and the taste is unusual. Many immediately remembered one figure, Jimin, and interestingly, Jimin also seems to be changing, still warm, still smiling, still being her soothing self, but now there is a new depth, there is a different calm. Like someone saving something important, and choose to wait for the right time. Some of their moments together also felt different, that a slightly longer gaze, that a smile that is not made up, pause before speaking, the way they respond to each other that feels more sensitive, not dramatic, that no noise, but precisely because it feels more real. For the old army, the dynamics of Jungkook and Jimin are not new, they grew up together, past the trainee period, debut pressure, global popularity. And the phases of life are not easy. Jungkook once said that Jimin is the one who gives him comfort as well as pressure, someone who makes him want to be better, and Jimin often portrays Jungkook as someone he protects and admires. The bond is never simple, not black and white, that it cannot be summed up in one word. And now, when BTS is in the transition phase, when everyone starts exploring themselves, many soldiers began to ask, is this just about music, or is there something more personal? Small clues keep popping up. From the selection of songs, lyrics that feel too relevant, from a brief comment at an unexpected time, even from the silence on social media that now feels more selective, all of this makes a lot of army feel mixed up. There is enthusiasm, there is hope, there is also an emergency, because big changes are never really light, that there's always a feeling attached to it. That in the world of psychology, long-term relationships like the ones they lead often create very deep bonds. A bond that goes beyond professionalism. A bond formed by shared experiences, pressures, failures, and successes. And when a person begins to become more reflective, quieter, be more selective in speaking, it often signals a major transitional phase in life. Some K-pop watchers see the possibility that Jungkook and Jimin are setting up a more personal artistic direction, more honest, more intimate, more emotionally courageous. But there are also those who feel that this is not just about works, except for the message, about the meaning of togetherness, about growth, about honesty. Interestingly, they do not choose noisy streets. Do not choose sensations. Do not choose explosions, they chose silence, process, and time, and the army began to learn to wait, not with claims, but with empathy, because Jungkook and Jimin are no longer teenagers looking for recognition. They are mature individuals who have the right to determine the direction of their own lives. That in a world full of noise, their silence seemed to speak more. Every little smile means something. Every break feels like a conversation. Each togetherness, even if brief, feels like it has weight. Many feel, whatever they are preparing, it will be born of an honest process, not from coercion, not from the sensation strategy. And maybe that's what makes this journey feel so powerful, not because we know the answer, because we feel the process. Whatever will be revealed later, big or small, music or message, public or personal, one thing is certain. This is not just entertainment news. That it is part of the life journey of two human beings growing up under the spotlight of the world. And when that day comes, the world might be surprised, not because of the scale, but because of the depth. Behind the big name BTS, there are feelings, doubts, wounds, and hopes, the same as humans in general. And maybe that's where the real power lies, not on sensation, not on controversy, but the truth is told in a quiet way, and the journey hasn't stopped. As the days go by, more and more army feel that this change is not just a short phase, there is consistency in it, there is a slow, but clear pattern. Every Appearance of Jungkook and Jimin feels like part of the same plot. A calmer tone of speech, deeper expression. A more careful choice of words. Nothing feels coincidental. Jungkook is now often seen more reflective. He spoke more slowly, prefer the word, like someone who's been through a lot and is starting to sort out what really matters. And in many of those moments, though not always called, Jimin's name came up. Such an emotional center of gravity does not need to be explained. Jimin himself also changed. It's still warm, still soft. It is still a source of comfort for many, but now there is a new depth. There's an honesty that feels quieter, like someone who no longer wants to hide, but also do not want to rush. Time becomes the key word. Nothing feels rushed. There was no sudden explosion. Everything goes slowly, patience, and it feels intentional. This is what makes many armies choose not to speculate excessively. They observe, they feel, and they waited, not because it doesn't matter, but because they care, because there is a new awareness within the fandom, that Jungkook and Jimin are no longer teenagers who always have to explain everything. They are adult human beings who have the right to take care of their personal space, and it is precisely in the safe room that emotions feel more honest. Every little smile counts, every silence feels like a sentence, any togetherness, however brief, feels like it has weight. Many are beginning to realize that this is not about what will be announced, but about how they walk to get there. And in a world that always wants to move fast, the way they choose to walk the planet's a rare form of courage, because not all things need to be shouted to be real.